Hi, this is Deborah at the Labyrinth, and this is a continuation of the Wicca series that we have on the YouTube. And today we're going to go over knot spells. So something juicy for you guys that have been waiting. Knot spells are very simple to do. You can even substitute the word knot or action of a knot into counting by the count of one instead of the knot of one. So there's a sheet here that you could write out yourself or print it, whatever you want to do, about the placement of the knots. The first knot goes in the center, and then you alternate back and forth according to the lines that you say for a total of 9 knots. So the first thing you need to do is figure out, okay, what do I want to do this for? I look at my materials and see what I have. I'm going to use green. I like to use embroidery thread. I cannibalize it from another project. And I like to use the embroidery thread because it's very durable, and it's cheap, and it comes in a lot of colors. You can also use leather, you can use ribbon, you can use your hair, but that's difficult. You can use really anything you can get your hands on that's going to be durable to put a knot in it. So I chose green. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do, that's what I need, green, prosperity and growth. And I find the center. See, there's the center. You just drape it over. Now I'm not going to be making knots the whole length of this, probably up to here maybe. Cut that off. But you want to start in the center. So, in other words, with this recipe here, or this spell, by the knot of 1, the spell is begun. You're always going to keep that line the same. Line number 2, by the knot of 2, prosperity is due. See, I put prosperity in that spot. Then line number 3 is by the knot of 3, I'll have no more, and I'll put need. By the knot of 4, I open the door. You're always going to keep that one the same. By the knot of 5, the spell's alive. You're always going to keep that the same. By the knot of 6, I have a blank here, so I'm going to say prosperity is fixed. By the knot of 7, prosperity is given. By the knot of 8, I seal my fate. That's always going to be the same. And by the knot of 9, I praise the divine. So you can use this as a template, and then you can just plug into these 4 spaces what your need is and what you're doing the knot spell for. So I figured, and I've got color correspondences here. White would be generic, anything, and also for spirit. Purple would be for wisdom and intuition. Yellow is for personal power and communication. Green is for prosperity and healing. Blue is for health and healing. Black is for banishing and protection. Orange is for courage and creativity. Red is for passion and will. Pink is for love and friendship. And brown is for anything that has to do with the home. So I got green, prosperity. So what I'm going to do first, like I always do when I'm working on any place other than the physical, I'm going to ground, I'm going to connect, and I'm going to protect with the intent that when my butt leaves the chair, it's going to go away. So I don't want to walk around like that. So I'm going to start here. So by the knot of 1, and these are overhand knots, very simple. By the knot of 1, this spell is begun. So I'm just going to make a knot in the middle. If I can see it. There we go. So there's my first knot. See, it's real tiny. But I can feel it. See, even if you're doing this in the dark by a fire, that's when I really do well at it, when I can't see it. That's my first knot. So now I'm going to go slightly to the left, because that's where my second knot's going to be. And I'm going to say, by the knot of 2, prosperity is due. So now I'm going to make another knot. And you don't have to worry about the first knot. It's not going to get caught up in it. You see, because you're making a knot in another spot. I don't know if you could see that. Can you see that? The 2 knots. So now, then you've got the third knot is going to go, you find the 2 knots here. You go to the right of the second knot. And now you're going to go for the third knot. By the knot of 3, I'll have no more need. So then you're going to put a knot to the right. And there's the third knot. See? Then you're going to just feel them, and you're going to go all the way over where the knot all the way to the left is. You're going to make a little space, and now this is where the 4th knot goes. So by the knot of 4, I open the door. So there's my 4th knot. And you don't have to worry, you're not going to bunch them on top of one another. See, it's 4 knots. See? Sometimes they come out even, sometimes they don't. Don't fret. Then you go all the way over to the right knot, the furthest right knot. And to the right of that is your 5th knot. So now you're going to say, by the knot of 5, this spell is alive. And you're going to make a knot all the way to the right, which is knot number 5. So we got 5 knots. No, they're not, one of them's not even, but that's okay. Now we're going to go all the way over to the left, to the last knot, make a little space. Now we're to the knot of 6. By the knot of 6, prosperity is fixed. I'm going to make a knot on that side. If you have thicker stuff, it does make it easier. It does. When you get older, it's hard to see this stuff. Okay, so now I got 6 knots here, see? They're all pretty evenly spaced except for the center ones. Whatever. Now I'm going to go all the way over to the right to the last knot. Now this is the knot, what do we got? 7. This is knot 7. By the knot of 7, prosperity is given. There's that one. And then I'm going to go all the way over to the left to the last knot, a little space. That's knot number 8. By the knot of 8, I seal my fate. That's 8. And then you're going to go all the way over to the right, past the right knot, a little bit over. And by the knot of 9, I praise the divine. So I got 9 knots here. And remember, we didn't raise a cone. We're calling down energy. We're not shooting it out. So there's my 9 knots. I don't know if you can see it. There's my knots. They're not even. Who cares? Okay, so then what I usually do is I just put it on my wrist. I wrap it around. Make sure all the knots are there. And then I tie this. And you could put this on your ankle too if you wanted to. I just put a double knot with it. If I can get it. Double knot. And then I'll just cut this end off. And I usually leave these on until they fall off. So there's my knot spell. See, I wrapped it twice. I got all the knots in it. And I'm just going to cut that. And this, it's not, you don't want it real tight. You don't want to cut off your circulation, okay? Because you're going to be wearing a shower. It's going to dry out, you know, get littler. So make it a little loose so that it's okay. And then when it falls off, you should have had your prosperity by that point. So use the color that corresponds to what you want to do. Now, say you don't have any thread. Say you don't have anything to make knots with, okay? You could do it by counting. So, for instance, if I wanted to do a prosperity spell with counting by using this formula, instead of the word knot, I would say count. And I've done this getting a car. It works. So I did by the count of 1, the spell's begun. By the count of 2, prosperity is due. By the count of 3, I'll have no more need. By the count of 4, I open the door. By the count of 5, the spell's alive. By the count of 6, prosperity is fixed. By the count of 7, prosperity is given. And by the count of 8, I seal my fate. And by the count of 9, I praise the divine. So if you don't have any materials, okay, what witches do and what magic people do, we work with what we've got. And if we don't have no stuff, we use our head. That's right, use your head, because that's where all the magic happens. This stuff is just to keep you preoccupied, your conscious mind. It's all done in here anyway. So if you don't have any stuff, you can count. Okay, you might want to have something that corresponds to your prosperity. I'd put a dollar bill in front of me. You know, or coin. No, I wouldn't go with coins. I'd go with the paper money. I'd put some paper money in front of me. And then in my mind's eye, I'd see it manifesting like, I don't know, splitting up and making a big pile like in a cartoon. You know, I'd use that while I'm doing my count. You might want to incorporate something visual at the same time. But remember to ground, connect, and protect while you do this. I'd like you guys to put in the comments of how you've done it, because this is just one way. There are many ways, many materials, many different knots. I do it very simple. So if you have another way, share. I'd love to hear it. If you've done it, let me know your experience. I'd be happy to hear that too. If you have any questions, let me know. Give a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, good or bad. You know, I don't give a shit. And if you want to call me, you can call me here at the store, 939-2769, from Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 7 p.m., and Sunday, 12 to 5, from November to April. Happy knots. Hey, practice your knots first so you don't screw it up. A lot of people don't know how to make a knot. So make a very simple knot first before you use your stuff, okay? Let me know how you make out. Thanks a lot, and have a great afternoon.